Alright. So, I'm going to tell you guys a story, and at the same time, hope to explain male taste in movies. Alright. So, I'm going to start out by pointing out that I don't know, what do you guys think the meaning of life is? Beer. As you can see, there is no common answer to this. And it's kind of funny because there's 8 billion people on the planet right now, and everybody asks these questions of themselves at some point, and yet there still is no common, agreed-upon answer to this. I find this you can look at this a couple ways. You can either look at it as being very funny or very tragic, kind of like the Greek, you know, they had the comedies, they had the tragedies. That was it for their storytelling. Nonetheless, I would think there's some consensus that this is a fairly ridiculous situation to be in. Life and everything, so on and so on. There's something else that's ridiculous. A group of Norwegians who rent a cabin for winter break, and when they get there, they get attacked by recently unfrozen zombie Nazis. This is a movie I saw, and I was rather entertained with it. I think it was a documentary, I can't remember. It's good stuff. You can't argue that it's not creative. And I recommend it to my friends. They all seem to enjoy it quite a bit. And excuse me. So I was able to convince my friends to check this out, but I had a more difficult time convincing their girlfriends that this was a good investment of time. Why would you watch something this stupid? Like, what is this crap? Why would you even bother watching this? Well, it is ridiculous, but so is life. So that's kind of my justification for it. Apart from it being entertaining, it is ridiculous and thus a reflection on life and therefore a high art form. Kind of a stretch, but every time I hear somebody laugh at something excessive, like a very excessively gory horror scene or slapstick comedy, I take it as validation of this belief. So, a year ago, I was in East Africa, in Tanzania, in southern Tanzania, in a very, very, very poverty-stricken part of a very poor country. And it's not just a different city, a different place, a different culture. The only way you can really describe this place is a different planet. It's just like a completely different way of thinking. There's, we were working for some NGOs, and people would donate mosquito nets to give to families, and so they could drape them over their kids to protect their kids from malaria at night. The fathers would receive these nets and use them to go fishing instead. We'd go to health clinics and we'd go talk to some of the doctors, and they were using vaginal speculums over and over again without washing them after checking patients for STDs. We'd go to the bar. We'd go to the bar at night and we'd see ex-British special forces who were hired by shipping companies to protect their cargo ships from pirates. And this isn't just like they were there and like once some guy saw a pirate. It was every single day they would do battle with pirates and tell us stories how they had to make crude stabbing weapons and chlorine grenades and throw glass on the pirates' boats because they don't have shoes on or anything like that. Anything they could do to hurt these guys without opening fire. Because as soon as you fire a gun, there's like, there's a lot of weird politics involved. Anyway, so I'm in Africa in the most bizarre place I've ever seen in my entire life, in a very, very poor town, and I stumble into a hotel one day. I don't know what this hotel was doing there. It was fairly decent, and I have no idea what the demographic was that they were going for, because it was always empty, and somebody had spent a lot of money having it there. I go in and I come across a TV. I haven't seen a TV in a while. I think there's only 5 TVs in the whole town. And somehow they were watching TV and Under Siege was on. Under Siege is a movie about a battleship that gets taken over by Tommy Lee Jones and Nick Nolte and a huge army, and they get defeated by Steven Seagal, who has a cooking knife and a gnarly looking ponytail, and it's very, very excessive and bizarre. I don't know if you guys remember it. But the guys who were watching with me were two Maasai warriors, who are the classic cliche image from Eastern Africa. Red robes, chains, elongated earlobes, and so on and so on. There's this one scene where Steven Seagal is fighting people with shop equipment. He throws one guy into a bandsaw, and then he kicks another guy to the ground, and as the guy's laying there on the ground, he drops an I-beam, and it goes straight through his chest, and the camera's behind his chest, and just blood explodes all over the camera. I find this excessive and ridiculous, as I find life most of the time. I start laughing, and who's laughing with me but the Maasai warriors are just cracking up with me. Thus, my validation worldwide that men's taste in movies are the same. Thank you very much.